life finds a way. That's a pretty common theme throughout the Jurassic Park and World movies. But you might be wondering, why are we talking about that right now? Why are we talking about a Jurassic Park quote in a Ninjago content channel? Well, before we get into any of that, let me give you some context so that the whole picture makes sense. So Tommy Andresen, one of the writers for Ninjago, he makes a lot of tweets, and we actually don't cover a lot of it, even though he tweets a lot of important information and leaks regarding future Ninjago stuff and old Ninjago stuff. It's just almost impossible to end up covering everything. So if you want to keep up with everything he's been saying, I would recommend going to a Discord server, especially ones with a Ninjago information channel. But coming to the statement that we're here to talk about, Tommy Andresen has clearly stated that there were 16 realms parallel to Ninjago. And that's what we kind of already knew. We thought there were 16 realms, at least most of us. But then he goes on to say there's 17 realms. And I thought at that point, okay, so the writers can just keep adding realms every time they run out. This kind of feels a little lazy, but if I were the writers, I wouldn't really put in a solid number so that I wasn't limited or scared to run out of realms. But then he goes on to say Fenwick said so. And Fenwick was a really old character from Season 5 Possession, and at that point, realms were still pretty new. Season 4 just introduced realms, and Season 5 was digging deeper into that. Fenwick himself was a person of high authority in the Cloud Kingdom where they wrote everybody's fates, but then he turned out to be evil, so he's arrested, and we don't really know what happened to him after that. But Fenwick did take us through a scene where they introduced every single realm. And it seems there were 16 realms, not including Ninjago. So when the ninjas say there were 16 realms, that means that it doesn't count Ninjago. So you have to add Ninjago after the ninjas say 16, making it 17 realms. It still sounds a little bit sketchy, but Tommy Andresen is known to not just make stuff up. All of these statements have a lot of thought behind them and a lot of time that came before these statements were released. Finally, he says that 2 realms were destroyed, which is the Cursed Realm and Jinjago, which were sister realms. So when the Cursed Realm collapses, Jinjago also collapsed, which was Natakan's home realm. At first, I was a little bit confused because I didn't know if these 17 total realms included the destroyed realms, which was subtracted from the original 19 realm number. But then I realized Fenwick was from Season 5, and at that point in Season 5, no realms were really destroyed, which means that 17 was the total number, and then after 2 were destroyed, we now have 15. Honestly, when I see this whole 17 realm thing, I feel like a part of me has been ripped out. It's almost like the ABCs. We've been taught to know that there were 16 realms. Now that there's 17 is kind of really groundbreaking. Now that we've established that there are 17 realms though, it's time to get to the main theory, which is life finds a way. My idea was, since Jinjago and the Cursed Realm were destroyed, I feel like there's 2 empty slots in that place. There's just an empty abyss. And if you're aware of Chima, the idea with Chi was that Chi never stays calm. You can't just leave it somewhere and expect it to just stay there and do nothing. Chi always finds a way into someone, and it'll make someone powerful for the good or someone powerful for the bad. Keeping that in mind, thinking about the 2 empty spaces for realms, I don't think they'll just exist with nothing in them. I think at some point something has to start happening, which is where life finds a way comes from. Life will find a way to somehow recreate a new realm or a new world with evil people in Ninjago's case, because something new in Ninjago is usually a bad guy. And hence, if the writers ever run out of realms to make seasons in, then they can always go to the Cursed Realm and Jinjago and easily explain that life finds a way and the realms were somehow recreated into something different, not the Cursed Realm or Jinjago again. It'll be a whole different set of species, physics, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be really messed up. I think the gravity would be off, the lights would be purple. I think if a realm was to be recreated or somehow rebuilt naturally by the life finds a way concept after they've been destroyed, then they'd probably come back as some pretty funky looking realms. In the end, this whole 16 to 17 realms transition is going to be pretty hard, and it's going to take a while for us to get used to, mainly because 16 realms has pretty much been engraved in our brains. And as for the theory, I think that's very much possible. If the writers ever run out of realms, then they can always use this as a little excuse to make 1 more or 2 seasons with some realms in it. Will we even be seeing a hint of this theory actually coming true anytime soon? I don't think so. It's going to be a long time, maybe season 50 or season 40 if Ninjago actually lasts that long. That does wrap up this general Ninjago thoughts and opinions video. Make sure you subscribe if you like the channel. Subscribing is pretty easy and harmless, and if you like the channel and these videos, why not? Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.